Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TOI Auto, and today we have the new Volvo EX30 with us. It's an electric car, the newest kid on the block from the brand. And to talk more about it, we've got a very special person. We've got Mr. Jyoti Malhotra, who is the Managing Director of Volvo Cars India. So thank you, Jyoti, for joining us for the show.
My pleasure.
And of course, it's a new car. Of course, you see the brilliant color. There is a yellow color also, which we have seen the car in, which will not be on sale in India, but that's a different story. But Jyoti, the newest car you're bringing in, and just take us through what this car means to the brand, what kind of consumers you're looking at, and what you expect the EX30 to do for Volvo in India.
Yeah, so as you rightly said, I think this is a brand new car from the Volvo stable. This is Volvo EX30, our next electric car, which we are very happy and excited to bring to India. And this one, as you know, we believe will create a new segment.
Right.
Because this comes within the industry at a spot where there is nothing else available for the consumers. So in our mind, this is like an urban explorer for those who really want to indulge in luxury in an EV, and at some people who are like really enjoy their drive, they want to enjoy moving around. As I said, urban explorer. So irrespective of age, those are the guys who will really enjoy it, and I'm sure that they will find a fantastic package in this car.
Great. So, a lot that we need to talk about the car, and I think the best way to do it is drive with Jyoti. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get in the car, discover more about this vehicle, and understand from him what the car is expected to do in the market. Alright, so now we're inside the EX30, and it's got a very different cabin. Of course, it just speaks loudly about sustainability. And Jyoti, what's your favorite part about this car? What does the EX30 mean to you? What is the USP that the customers can expect from the EX30?
See, it's a fantastic package. It's very difficult to point out at one thing, but as a package, this car brings a lot. So if you really see, it's a smart car, and typically any other Volvo, this one is minimalistic. You can see,
right?
It's very simplistic, but still very smart. It has a lot of storage spaces, a lot of hidden surprises, which would really delight the customer. But at the central console, you can see this is the biggest screen that we offer, and this is everything in one. It has different consoles. You can use it for whatever you want to use, and the keyless entry, which you just experience getting into the car, getting out of the car is so easy. Just keep it like a wallet in your wallet, like a key, and I think it really goes for you. But I think in the end, the package really comes with the sort of battery pack that this car comes with, the range that it offers, and the acceleration which this car offers, and with the drive experience. I'm sure you will enjoy the drive. The handling is just amazing. So I'm very confident that this will really appeal to the youth. And having said that, as you were also saying, when it comes to sustainability, Volvo takes sustainability very seriously. So within our portfolio, this is the car with the lowest CO2 emission that we offer.
Right.
And when talk about safety, like any other Volvo, this one comes with a 5-star global NCAP rating. So as I said, it's a complete package.
Right. Just now, as you know, Volvo has been venturing into the electric space for a while now. I mean, even with hybrids, plug-ins, all of it. What's your take on the potential of EVs in the luxury space in India? how do you see this space panning out in the next few years?
So my belief is that, and I've always said that when it comes to luxury segment, EVs will lead the overall categories. The reason being, there are many reasons that luxury owner typically have multiple car owners, but beyond that, they're also more conscious, right?
Right.
And I think we are already seeing this trend. If you see the mass market, which has moved from, let's say, somewhere around 2% to now 4%, the penetration within the luxury car segment in India is already close to around 10%. So it's already, you can see, it's almost like much higher than the rest of the car market or the mass market.
Right.
For us, we are already close to around 25%. 25% of our sales come from electric cars, and that too with limited. We have only one platform with two cars, C40 and XC40, or EC40 and EX40 as we call them now.
Correct.
And I think this one will be the another addition to our family of electric cars. And as promised, we said we'll bring one car every year, so here it is. And I'm very confident that this will add to the volume, the industry growth, and as I said earlier, this is a segment creating vehicle or a car, and this will propel a lot of customers to come and join the Volvo family, and I think that will also boost overall, I would say, penetration of EVs. But what we are seeing already as a trend, that customers are very sure about what they want, and wherever I go and whenever we do whatever research we do, one thing comes out very clearly, that customers are now talking about that the next car they want has to be an EV. That, I think, that sentiment, that positivity, and that confidence
Right.
is something which will drive, I think, the EV penetration in India.
So, Jyoti, one of the pressing points about EV, I mean, a lot of people discuss it, is the charging infrastructure. Now, of course, the government has its own role to play. As a brand, what is your plan for charging infrastructure as you sell more EVs? So, what's your plan on that?
So I think starting point is the EV comes with a home charger, right? I think that is something which is very important,
Right.
and we provide a EV charger to the customer
Right.
from the very beginning.
So it's built in with the car.
Built
cost.
with the car, yeah. When we offer a car, the charger comes with it, and
Right.
we get it installed as well. So I think that I think sorts a lot of things, because with the range that these cars offer, you can really go around. This is like, as I said, urban explorer. So if you are sort of using it within the city, I think you charge once in a week is good enough, and in your home charger, and I think you really don't need much charging to be done. Having said that, what we are also seeing is that the charging infrastructure is coming up quite fast, and is becoming more reliable.
Right.
Government is playing its role. There are a lot of these CPOs who are coming forward, and we also have plans to provide, I think, these fast chargers at some key locations within the country to facilitate and arrange something for our Volvo customers. We will also be doing that. First one of them will be coming somewhere between Mumbai and Nasik.
Right.
I think hopefully around Diwali or by end of this year we'll have the first one ready, and then sort of from there we'll expand. So that is basically to facilitate. We have identified areas of where people, as I said, urban explorer, the customers, where they travel typically.
Correct.
So we have seen Mumbai, Nasik is one such area where there is a lot of commute which is happening, whether it is for industrial purpose or religious tourism purpose or whatever. I think that's a very busy route. So we said, okay, we need to put something for our customers there. Similarly, we identified many other locations that we will be over a period of time sort of taking care of that. But I think that is what we are doing. But public charging will come up in a very big way. And one more thing, very interesting thing I can tell you, that people think that moving from city A to city B on an EV can be challenging. People have that sort of a fallacy till the time they haven't yet themselves tried it. right?
Right.
So what we did internally within our own office, we have some office cars which we allow our own employees to use over a period of time,
Correct.
and ask them to go and explore. So our colleagues have taken the car all the way to Goa from Delhi. They have been to Vaishno Devi. They have traveled. Some of them have traveled to Dehradun, and no, I'm not saying Dehradun city, but beyond that,
Right.
in their hometown or home village, and they sort it out. So I think as of today, it takes a bit of a planning, right?
Correct.
And you will recall good old days, I think 25, 30 years ago in India, if you were really doing long miles, you need to plan the fuel fill up. So we are, I
Right.
think, in that stage. It's a nascent stage, but I think it's coming up very, very fast. And another very interesting thing I can tell you, and I always, in my mind, keep telling me and reminding me, many years back when mobiles came to India, there was this question that India is such a large country, and how and where the network will come up.
Correct.
Towers will come up. It's going to be very challenging to cover the whole country and stuff like that. But you see how we were able to find solutions, and I think the coverage is now everywhere. We are here in, I think, a bit of a
Correct.
rural part of Jaipur, and I think we get full signal here.
Yeah.
So and that solutions came at a very fast pace. So I am sure you will see in India will offer solutions which will surprise the world, and I think it's already coming up. The CPOs, the way they are operating, and I think the way government has laid out the whole plan, I think charging infrastructure, it's a matter of time. I think it is already accelerating at an exponential pace, and you will see more and more chargers coming up. So I think charging will not be I think should not be a question in anybody's mind. Obviously, the most important thing is a home charger, and somehow I believe that we should now go and ask the government to give us a right to charge.
Okay. And one last question, globally, a lot of brands, considering the way, they've got the response from the consumers and the way the sales have proceeded, they have backtracked from their expectation on EVs. Now, India is a very different market. So how do you see in the long term the EV market? Do you see that, like globally in Europe especially, there's been backtracking? Do you see that India could go through that phase, or what kind of cycle do you see for this?
So I think I don't think I can talk about us. We are not really backtracking.
Right.
We are recalibrating. I think that's the right way to put it across.
Okay.
Because I think our end goal is still the same.
Right.
We want to become an all-electric car company, and we believe future is electric.
Okay.
Right. The path there is not going to be linear. I think that has been the learning. And as a global company, we have seen around the adoption rate in every country depends on so many factors, and it is not same across any country. So it will take different countries to adopt at a different rate, right? Having said that, same applies for here in India. Within India, every different states are adopting EVs in a different way, because it again depends on so many other local factors as well. So I think the recalibration basically means the saying end goal is still the same. We are not putting a milestone like we said earlier. By 2030, we want to become all electric car company. We say our end goal is still the same, but our recalibration is that by 2030, we want 90% of our cars to be electrified, which is basically a car with a cord. Should have some charging mechanism, so it's basically a BEV and a plug-in hybrid combination. So that's, I think, our global recalibration. In India also, I think we believe we will follow that path. We will continue to bring our electric cars, but we are rebalancing and saying we will also continue to focus on EVs, because as I said today, we have 25% of our cars are EV, but 75% are ICE. So I think it both require equal focus, and we'll continue to sort of provide whatever support it needs. But we will not hold back our EV ambition. We will continue to bring cars, like this one is coming, and then we'll have more lined up next year onwards. So we'll continue on that. And I think if you really read the signals from the government, the government is quite clear that they are nudging all of us to move towards electrification.
Right.
And we believe that I think we are on the right path. There is a lot of question about plug-in hybrids. We have it in our global portfolio. I think the tax structure here is not conducive for us to bring a value proposition for Indian customer. But we have it ready, right? If the proposition is right, I think we can bring the car as well. So I think that's how we will go through this journey. We will continue to bring our EVs, and we will continue to offer the best of IC engine cars that we have. So, for example, earlier this year we had launched the XC90.
Correct.
In the new avatar.
Yes.
And recently, few days back, we also launched the XC60, that was redesigned or reshaped for India. So I think we are giving equal emphasis on both ICE and BEV, and that's how we will focus. But our end goal remains still the same, that we want of electrified future.
Right. And one last question, Jyoti. As we move forward, of course, this is something that our viewers will be very interested in. What next can we expect from Volvo in India? What are your plans in terms of products? I mean, whatever you can share with our viewers.
So,
what can they expect?
No, I can tell you only this much, that we have said in the past that we will keep bringing electric vehicles for India,
Right.
and we have this one EX30. The next one will be from our global portfolio, and I think each one we try and bring a car which is assembled in India. So we are right now studying the feasibility of achieving that, more technical as well as from meeting the CKD requirement. So we are in a business case, and I think we will reveal more. But I can only tell you this, that next year also we will bring one more electric car for sure. Is all I can tell you, if not more.
SUV?
Wait, we will for sure will bring one for sure, and maybe more, as I said.
Brilliant. So, I mean, guys, it's been a brilliant conversation with Jyoti, and of course, I've been driving the EX30, and I will drive it through the day today. So, for the starting part, it of course appears as a brilliant car in terms of the cabin feel, the layout. Performance, yes, I'll drive it more, and of course do watch out for the review, and that's where you'll get to know what this car is all about.